What if I told you that one single vote shook the foundations of Europe, sent shockwaves through global financial markets, and rewrote the rules of international trade overnight? Today, I'm going to unpack Brexit, not just the headlines that you guys have seen, but the hidden financial aftershocks that still echo around the world today. Whether you're an investor, a curious mind, or just love global affairs, this is the story of how one nation's choice changed all of our futures. In the 1950s, after the devastation of World War II, Europe was looking to rebuild. 6 countries signed the Treaty of Rome in 1957, creating the European Economic Community, the forerunner to the EU. The goal, to foster economic cooperation, stability, and peace. The UK, however, hesitated. Why? Well, the UK preferred global trade and feared that joining the EEC would mean sacrificing control over its sovereignty and laws. It wasn't until 1973 that the UK joined the EEC under Prime Minister Edward Heath. But then the UK maintained a wary distance, opting out of key elements of European integration, particularly the euro. Fast forward to today, and this skepticism became one of the main drivers behind Brexit, a monumental shift that altered the UK's relationship with Europe and the world. Now let's fast forward to 2016. When the Brexit referendum was held, the stakes were high. Would the UK remain in the EU or leave? The decision split the nation and reverberated across global financial markets. The Leave campaign argued that the UK needed to regain control of its borders, laws, and trade policies. They were focused on sovereignty and freedom. Meanwhile, the Remain campaign, led by PM David Cameron, emphasized the economic benefits of staying in the EU. There was extreme financial shock from this. On June 23, 2016, the UK voted to leave, with 59% in favor of Brexit. The immediate aftermath, the pound sterling plunged to its lowest level in 30 years. For investors, this was a wake-up call, and the financial markets were caught in a whirlwind of volatility as uncertainty about the UK's economy grew. Brexit caused exactly that. One of the largest impacts of Brexit was the disruption of trade between the UK and EU. Before Brexit, the UK had seamless access to the single market and the customs union, meaning goods, services, and capital could move freely across borders. After Brexit, not so much. The UK and EU spent months negotiating a new trade deal, resulting in the EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement, but the free flow of goods gone. Now businesses face new trade barriers, custom checks, and regulatory differences. This makes operations more expensive for companies that relied on easy access to European markets. One of the most significant hits of the UK economy came in the form of financial services sector. The City of London has long been a global financial hub, home to investment banks, hedge funds, and insurance companies. However, as part of the EU, the UK had access to the passporting system, which allowed financial firms to operate across all EU member states. Post-Brexit, this automatic access was lost, and as a result, many financial firms moved operations to other EU cities like Frankfurt, Paris, and Amsterdam. While London remains a key player in global finance, this shift has led to some recalibrations in how businesses operate within the financial sector. Brexit didn't just shake up the UK, it also rattled global investors and shifted capital across borders. So how did investors react? In the immediate aftermath, foreign direct investment in the UK declined, as investors worried about the economic fallout. The uncertain future of the UK-EU relationship made the UK less attractive as a destination for capital. However, not all sectors suffered. Tech and renewable energy sectors saw increased investment as investors sought alternative growth opportunities outside traditional industries affected by Brexit. As we saw with Brexit, markets are interconnected. When one market goes down, often others feel the impact. Diversification became crucial for global investors, and Brexit highlighted the importance of a well-rounded investment strategy. Brexit wasn't just a UK and EU issue. It sent ripples through the global financial markets, investors recalibrated their portfolios, and capital flows shifted. With many emerging markets in Europe seeing increased investment as capital moved away from the UK, volatility became the norm as markets adjusted to the new financial reality. So in conclusion, Brexit has been a defining moment in the global economic history. The immediate aftermath has been one of the most uncertain, volatile, and market-disrupting time periods in history. However, we're only beginning to understand the long-term impacts. For investors, businesses, and anyone who's concerned with the financial world, understanding Brexit's ripple effect will continue to be essential. Will the UK thrive outside of the EU, or will the long-term costs outweigh the benefits? The global financial system has adapted, and so must we. Brexit isn't just about the political split, it's about shifting the dynamics of trade, investment, and the interconnectedness of global markets.